So today I'm at the Aransas National Wildlife Refuge, and this should be quite a treat. Right here on San Antonio Bay, a number of trails to explore. We're going to start off today with the Heron Flats Trail, and then head on down and hit all of these little side trails along the way. There's also an auto tour loop, which I really look forward to here, that we'll explore as well. I've heard a lot of good things about this place. Excellent wildlife and natural beauty. And so I've recently visited the Brazoria National Wildlife Refuge, and I can already see differences here at Aransas. The coastal gradient appears to be much steeper. The transition from forest to coastal marsh to bay seems much narrower here. Just a short distance down the Heron Flats Trail, and we've already spotted our first gator. He's on the move. As you go from the Louisiana border along the Texas coast down to the south, the climate becomes more and more semi-arid. And so around the Louisiana border, you get close to 60 inches of rain per year. But as you go down south along the coast, it drops down below 40, and so you're already starting to see that here. Also, the sandy soil here is very well drained, and the cactus and desert plants love it. Several beautiful ponded wetland areas along the Heron Flats Trail. Really enjoying it so far. So continuing on through the Heron Flats Trail, we have climbed slightly in elevation, and you do see a change in vegetation as you do that. This is an interesting place to see microecologic zones. Right here you've got this brackish little pond with a salty rim, and then just to the left you climb up in elevation, and right there you have a live oak tree just high enough to get above the salt and survive. Right here at the visitor center outside is a beautiful water filling station, because you just might need it out here in this heat. Our next stop is the 1/10 of a mile Songbird Loop, and this takes you up to some of the higher elevations in this area. And so probably best in the early morning hours or late in the evening right before dark, but we're going to go ahead and check it out so you can see what it looks like. Definitely hearing the sounds of nature in this forest. There is a beautiful picnic area here with a nice breeze and view of the bay underneath the oak trees. Really nice, relaxing place to take a lunch break. There's even a fishing pier just across the road here. Now we're at the Oak Sanctuary, a short 1/10 of a mile trail, which I'm sure will be gorgeous. I can just tell that this is going to be a special little spot. Look at the vines covering that like a dome. Incredible shady spot. Oh my goodness. This is incredible. And I'm sure my camera doesn't even do it justice. This is amazing. And honestly, it felt like the temperature dropped about 10 degrees underneath the canopy of this tree. This has to be one of the most impressive little spots in nature that I've ever seen in Texas. You're definitely going to want to take a break in the shade right here. This truly is a Texas treasure. So this wildlife refuge was actually established in 1937 by FDR. Next, we're at the Dagger Point Loop Trail. This is 7/10 of a mile, like most trails here, relatively short, but they do take you to some incredible spots in this National Wildlife Refuge. So this trail largely goes on top of a series of sand dunes covered in vegetation. You do get some nice views at the crest of some of these. As you hike along here, be sure to keep your eyes open for numerous seashells which are right along the trail. If you take the trail clockwise like we did, it's a rather hot hike at first on top of the dunes, not much shade, but eventually you'll descend down into a forest and it is beautiful. It's surprising how much topographic relief there is right here next to the bay. You don't really see that further northeast along the coast. It's much flatter, generally speaking. The central and southern Texas coast does tend to have more topographic relief right next to the water. So I assume that from one of the recent hurricanes, which likely battered the shoreline here, you see a lot of dead trees laying in the water. A big portion of this area is now closed off to the public. This one side trail was the only thing that I saw that allowed me to get down here by the water. You know, it's a real shame about Dagger Point. I'm sure just a few years ago, this was one of the most beautiful spots in the entire refuge. Hopefully it will get restored to its former glory in the near future. So now we're approaching a viewing platform over Jones Lake. Many birds here. Though due to the drought, it appears that this lake is drying up rather quickly. It looks like we do have some roseate spoonbills off in the distance. One of my favorites along the Texas coast in the summer. Now we're way down here on the southern end on the big tree trail, 7/10 of a mile. I can't wait for this. This may be the highlight of the whole park down here. You have this great trail, plus the viewing tower over the bay looks huge. Gets you way up over the water so you can see everything. Oh my God, did you see that bird? This trail has been a pleasure so far. This tree has definitely been around for a long time. Probably has many stories to tell. Really impressive oak trees along this trail. Little side trail takes you out to the water. Maybe we'll get a nice view of the dunes along the shoreline here. This is a gorgeous spot. Incredible. I love seeing the trees right next to the water like this. Truly is a special place. Huge boardwalk along the bay here. And if you continue around, it takes you to the viewing tower, which we'll see shortly. Easy access for anyone to see this beautiful area. So up fairly high already, but as you can see, the next viewing platform over there goes even higher above the trees. Looks like a fantastic place for birding. You have the trees, the coast right here. I'm sure you could see several species just from this small area. I love this view of the landscape rising up above the water right there. Okay, now we're back down at ground level. We're gonna go check out the water. So now I'm taking the auto loop around here, and just to my right, I just saw a group of about 10 wild hogs. I'd say at one time this was a wildlife viewing spot, but clearly it is now overgrown. So I almost passed up this trail, but then I looked at a map and saw that there's a big slough back here, which might give us one of the best opportunities for seeing alligators and other wildlife. And right away we've seen an alligator. Its head sticking up out of the water. He's been hopping around a lot here.